नाज़रीन वेलकम बैक। वापस आने के लिए शुक्रिया, करम, मेहरबानी। हम बात कर रहे हैं प्रीता छाबरा से। छोटा सा चेहरा है पर इतने सारे मास्क वो पहनती है क्योंकि भाई सिंगर भी है, एक्टिविस्ट भी है, इतना सारा काम वो कर चुकी हैं। एंड ऑफ कोर्स इनसे ये इसके बारे में सारे सवाल जो करने हैं अभी। सो प्रीता, लेट्स टॉक अबाउट the entire journey. I like to call it the journey because I think that it definitely played a big part in your life and sort of in part of sort of what we perceive Prita Chhabra to be when we look at her as a public persona. Tell me about the trip to Malawi. How did it come about and why was it so important?
One of my role models in my life is Oprah Winfrey, and she is someone in my life that somehow spoke to me. Through the TV, I thought like she was talking to me. Right. She said, follow your bliss. You know, you can do anything that you want. You can create this beautiful life for yourself. And she's the only one in my life that told me to believe in myself. Right. And I just took her words to heart. And I remember seeing her trip to Africa. Yes. And Bette Midler is my favorite person. She, you know, when I was in grade 2, I heard her singing and a flame was lit in my heart. Well, when I saw Oprah's trip to Africa, another flame was lit in my heart. It was a very strong spiritual experience. I started crying. I felt like something inside me was telling me to go. You have to go to Africa. I always was involved with helping people. It's a big passion of mine. I think it's why I, you know, graduated with honors in psychology. Yes. It's something I am very interested in. But nothing really like moved me to actually do something. And something inside me was telling me you got to do something now. Enough thinking about it. Yes. So I made a little prayer, wish to God, universe, whatever. If you present me with an opportunity to go to Africa, I will go. I don't know why I'm supposed to go. I don't know how I'm going to get there. But all faith in God, just send me there. Started music school 2 months later. It's the first day of school. Open up my agenda. It lines at a page recruiting students to go to Malawi for an HIV/AIDS research trip. In that very moment, my heart is like, like the fire like engulfs me. I'm like, that's my opportunity. That's what I prayed for. Right. It's here. And I got selected. I was one of 6 students to go, and that's what the cause ended up being. It chose me. And I mean, sort of having been to Africa, let's talk about the experience really quickly about that. Once you're there, okay, so you've had this calling, and of course, you know, sometimes activism work or just answering a call is a lot easier when Oprah does it on TV. I know, right? Yeah, and then you arrive in Malawi, and you have an entire set of challenges which are different altogether. So talk to me about once you arrive, what is your first reaction? Because the reason why this is so important for me is because I'm actually from Africa. Oh, wow. Me too. Well, my parents. Right. This is the second high five. This is the first. I don't usually high five people more than once, so I'm really excited. Yeah. I'm from South Africa, and I think East Africa. My parents were from Uganda. From Uganda. Yeah. Nice, nice. Yeah. So now you've just landed in Malawi. What is it like? Is it the stereotypical Africa that you see on TV, or? Part of it, part of it is because I lived in a rural village, no electricity, no running water. My bathroom was a small little hole in the ground full of cockroaches, this big, you know, mosquito net. I was sleeping on a thin little gym mat with the net covering me, that's a luxury right there. So it was completely different. I've never even been camping before. I mean, Indian people, we don't go camping. We came here so we didn't have to do that, right? You know, when we got there, there was, I think, a 3-hour bus ride from the airport to the actual village, Makupo village. I was the first one to get out of the bus, and I just see all these people just kind of standing there. They're all there to greet us, but no one's saying anything, and they're kind of just like this. And I'm like, you don't know. I had such naive perceptions about these people. Like, they're ignorant, they're living backwards, they don't know anything. I'm going to come from America, and I'm going to show them how to live, and I'm going to show them how to treat women, and you know, this stuff. And so I go up to this tall grandmother, I think it was, and there it's like the grandmothers and mothers, everyone's, it's like a matriarchal society. Exactly, thank you for that word that I didn't have. So you know that you have to show most respect to them. So I just went up there, and I don't know what came over me, I just hugged her. And everyone screamed, and you know, for joy, because it broke this huge ice that was there. It was a total culture shock, but I realized we're exactly like them. I could have easily been born there. We listened to Akon on the wind-up radio, and everyone knew the words. Right. You know what I mean? So, and you know what? I'm really glad you said that. It's because sort of for a lot of celebrities, sort of when they sort of go over to help people in Africa, there's always this perception that they're these people with arms spread open, like come help us. Right. But they're people just like us. They're skeptical of someone they don't know. It's very true. So I'm really glad that you sort of approached it from that aspect altogether.
once you're there and you've done the work, let's talk about it from a perspective of now Prita the singer who is developing along the same time. You were going through music school, now you've gone through Africa. How has this experience shaped you as an artist who is coming into her own shape?
I was on the road to following my dreams, but I don't know if I fully truly believed myself until I was in Africa. When I saw how little they had, and when I realized that, you know, I used to be so stupid. I'd say, you know, I shouldn't have to compare my life to somebody who lives in Africa to be happy with my life. I'd be that arrogant. I should be happy with my life. When I actually saw what it means to live in Africa, when I actually saw what it means to, you know, not have running water, to not even be able to afford to go to school, to not have women who fought for me so that I could have rights, so that I could speak and do an interview such as this, what that actually means, and the fact that it's still going on today, it totally changed my perspective. And I realized I've been given this life, this blessing, and here I am being stupid, saying I'm not pretty enough. Oh, I can't sing high notes like Mariah Carey, and sometimes I can though. And you know, oh, mom says I'm never going to make it, and everyone says, oh, an Indian girl's never going to make it singing English music. I'm spending all my opportunity, this beautiful life in North America, been given so much on these stupid little thoughts. Like seriously, the kids that I met there would have killed to be able to go to school, to educate themselves, just to make something of their lives. They don't even have the luxury to think of what they would like to be when they grow up, because they're too busy thinking about they're going to get fed the next day. You know, a lot of the kids, when we came back, some people were like, oh, we waste so much. It was very like skeptical, and oh, this Western life is not right for the world. And maybe so, but I kind of took it as I'm blessed. I'm so thankful that I had these little blessings, a toilet, a warm bed, a hot shower, just to make my life a little bit easier. Thank you, God. And with my dreams, someone heard me singing on a bus there. And they said, you have such a beautiful voice. And I was like, I think you're not feeling well. They're like, no, you have a really nice voice. You know, they taught me songs in their native tongue, which is called Chichewa. And they gave me the opportunity to perform in public. I never performed in public before. Like, I would do karaoke and stuff like that, but never a real, like, performance. And they had so little, and they gave me so much, this opportunity. They didn't realize how much that meant to me. And I said, you know, I'm going to go back there. I'm going to make this life mine. Like, I was just finally pushed to the edge because I realized how much I had. And, I mean, they would have done the same, you know. They would have killed to have this opportunity that I had, and you know, be a singer. And their voices are amazing. No training, you know, 4 6-part harmonies when they're greeting you, singing and dancing. And I realized singing is such a natural part of when you're happy. You go, you're just like, yay! And I'm denying myself that happiness of something so natural. You know, I shouldn't be doing that. So it really pushed me. It totally shaped me. I'm so grateful. I don't take things for granted. I don't think I have this like diva attitude, because I know that I'm just very blessed and lucky to be able to even do an interview like this. So.
Would you say that while sort of touring Africa and sort of being given that first opportunity to perform, do you think Prita, the artist, was born in Africa?
Maybe, yeah. I think she was always there, but I think she finally just said, enough of these negative thoughts, enough of not believing in myself. Like, it's time to put. And still, sometimes it's hard. It's a very hard industry. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of jealousy. There's a lot of people putting you down. You're not Indian enough. You're not Western enough. You're never enough of anything for anybody. And to believe that you're enough is, you know, one of every person's life struggles sometimes, I think. So, but I always think of them and I'm just like, I am enough. I'm good. Thank you.
I really like that thought. Now, sort of, you're back in Canada, and we do spread the word.
Yes.
And it definitely has spread the word that Prita has arrived. How was that feeling? Was it sort of, was that a moment where you felt that, you know what, I can actually do this? Or was there still that unsurety or insecurity? There
was still insecurity. At my CD release party, no one bought a single CD. It was very hard, and I was performing with Gurpreet Jana. Yeah. You know, amazing tabla artist.
Right.
People bought his CDs at my CD release party, but no one bought mine. So it was very hard, and you kind of like, it's something you slowly ease into, and I think you just have to really believe in yourself before it comes to you. And I was waiting for people to be like, great, CD, amazing. Yeah. People are buying it now. Right. You know, people are totally in love with Roots now. Yes. And I think it's because of the energy that I put into Roots as a separate project. And Spread the Word was kind of like an experimental thing, like, can I do this? Maybe it wasn't my full heart and full intentions weren't in there, which could affect the outcome and stuff like that. I still think it's a great album. I still love listening to it. I love all the songs in there, and it's still doing very well. So
So I want to actually, so you mentioned Roots, and we'll take a look at the video. जो Roots की जो music video है वो देखनी है. But before we actually sort of go watch that video, I want to know what was the thinking behind making a 3D version of it?
It had never been done before, and my manager Raul, he said we should make a 3D version, and I was like, yes, we should. It was like right around the time where 3D movies were exploding.
Yes.
I think it was Avatar, I think, or my mom says Avatar, not Avatar.
that's the Indian version.
Right. Avatar. It was right around there. Everyone was doing 3D movies, and I said, let's do a 3D music video. Or he said to me, and I said, that's a great idea. So.
Yeah. And there it is. In fact, it's funny because I actually saw the 3D version of it before I actually saw the original.
Oh, wow.
And I was kind of grateful to see the original because when you watch it on YouTube and if you don't have those glasses, I'm like, ये सब red or green क्यों है? I'm like, what? Was there an aesthetic that I don't get? And I was like, oh, okay, this is original. I really, to be very honest, I love the little dialogue you have at the start. And I think that kind of sums up the identity crisis of North American Desi artists altogether. That you're not Indian enough and you're not Western enough at the same time. Talk to me about the thinking. Was that sort of you venting out all your frustrations?
It really was. Every time I did a show, when I did spread the word, I was like, oh my God, Indian people are going to love this. They're going to see one of their own singing in English. And a lot of times I got the opposite reaction, like, ek gand ki hai, ek ki kardi piye ke shoes paadi hai. Like, and I was like, I remember one time I did a Desi Fest show and I had my hair like slicked straight up, like Gwen Stefani kind of thing.
Yes.
And then I remember that I passed this auntie and she said, एक ही बन के आई है. I was just like,
what is the auntie Desi Fest to start off with?
And then it was her son that was dancing to my music,
Right.
So it was kind of cool, but it was one of those things where I was like, this is who I am. My mom says you got to bloom where you're planted.
Yeah.
If I was meant to be a Bollywood singer, I would have been planted somewhere else.
Yeah.
Or at least had access to Bollywood music more in my life to be influenced by it.
Yep.
I wasn't a lot growing up. I was listening to Bette Midler.
Yeah.
So it definitely talks about that. It's kind of saying just I won't forget about my roots. They're the very things holding me up, and I won't forget about the sun. It's the very thing that grew me up on this side of the world.
And I love that. I love your mom saying that you've got to bloom where you're planted. कि जहाँ आपका बीज बोया गया है वहीं आपका पौधा उगेगा. And of course that sort of goes into the roots analogy as well. I think now is a great moment to actually go take a look at that video. I think it's a beautiful video. तो भाई आके सुनते हैं, नहीं आके नहीं जाके सुनते हैं प्रीता छाबरा की वीडियो Roots को. I'm pretty sure आप काफी enjoy करेंगे.
Hey Bunny, what are you doing in the next hour? Do you think you can meet me at Gerrard Street? Okay, great. Bring your doll. All right, bye. Awesome. You're looking at me on your TV. I'm not your typical beauty. A mixed up girl in a mixed up world. That's the way God has made me. Brown skin, blue American dreams. A little bit of Daisy hanging off my wrist, you see. Blonde streaks in my hair, cause I like them there. Don't wanna be like everybody. So tell me what you think about that. Tell me how you feel about that. Tell me, can you handle that? Well, I don't really care what you think about that. Cause I won't forget about my roots. They're the very things holding me up. No, I won't forget about the sun. It's the very thing that grew me up on this side of the world. On this side of the world. It's a beautiful world. On this side of the world. Oh, just stop. I'm not whitewashed. Culture lies in my heart. My outsides shouldn't be why I don't get to sing my songs. But beating heart is never enough to make you change your ways or make you feel proud, really. Why can't you see what's inside me? A diamond in the rough, breaking free. So tell me what you think about that. Tell me how you feel about that. Tell me, can you handle that? Cause I don't really care what you think about that. Cause I won't forget about my roots. They're the very things holding me up. No, I won't forget about the sun. It's the very thing that grew me up on this side of the world. On this side of the world. It's a beautiful world. On this side of the world. feel about that? Tell me, can you handle that? Cause I don't really care what you think about that. Cause I won't forget about my roots, they're the very things holding me out. No, I won't forget about the sun, it's the very thing that grew me out. Cause I won't forget about my roots, they're the very things holding me out. No, I won't forget about the sun, it's the very thing that grew me out.